G'day guys, welcome back to the Iron Empire and this week's episode of
Just the Tip.
Now this week I thought I'd quickly show you around Andrea's CM Valiant wagon. Bulk bugs out tonight. Now this thing was purchased of Gumtree for the hefty sum of $1,000 and it had no running gear. Aside from that, it was a complete car, painted in house white. We basically buzzed the car back, exposing all the cream, and then we blew in a little bit of acrylic cream in the same color just to match it in, and then basically try and preserve a patina sort of look. And we threw a engine and transmission in also from Gumtree, so I'll show you that, including a very handy power steering pump tip. Now here's the pre-revving 265 Hemi we threw in this thing. This thing came from Gumtree. I think Andrea paid about $500 for it. Now, excuse me, I got kids on a dirt bike just going hell for leather over the back there, so hopefully you can hear me over that. 265, we put a Borgwarner 35 in it, which I had from my VG hardtop, and good old Facebook Marketplace, we found extractors for $50, a 4-barrel inlet manifold for I think $100, and I think all up this car owes her like $3,000, bit over. So super low buck cruiser, and it actually goes really bloody good because these 265, if anyone knows, they're a pretty burly motor for what they are. Now the tip that I'm going to get to is this car is a factory Regal with factory power steering. So it had a power steering box in it already, but obviously there was no motor, so there was no pump, no pulleys, no brackets, no nothing. Now the cost to try and match all that stuff up and buy 40-year-old parts and hope that they're good was going to just outweigh the benefits or just blow the budget. So this kid's loving life. Mad dog. So we opted to go with the Holden Astra 99 to 2004 Holden Astra electronic power steering pump. Now you may have seen this done. It's been done a bunch of times. I'm sure other cars have the same sort of thing. I've got a feeling maybe BMW might do the same sort of thing. But in Australia, the Holden Astra, super easy to find. I've just got it from a self-serve wrecking yard. It cost me $59 and with a 3-month warranty, and it is the most easiest install you can imagine. So I'll give you a quick rundown. This isn't a tutorial. There's plenty of people that have done tutorials on this online, so check them out. But this is basically a rundown for anyone that hasn't seen this done before. It is a very affordable option with a lot of benefits. So basically, I guess because it's a self-contained unit, so that is the reservoir, that's the pump, that's the factory bracket, which I modified to fit in this engine bay. Around to the side here is the high pressure line, and I've converted it with a couple of different fittings to convert down to a hard line, which then runs down to the power steering box, obviously. And then the return is just a soft line back to the pump here. Now, I can't stress enough how easy the wiring is on this thing. From the factory, there's 2 main wires, as in like a thick negative and a thick positive. And then there's 2 trigger wires. Now, I don't know what the both are for, but basically the way it's wired for this application is the 2 trigger wires are pretty much twitched together, and then they just simply run to ignition and on and off. As soon as you turn it on, she comes on, and the actual unit itself is self-contained. It always has constant power running through a big heavy duty fuse, and as you can see down here that's the positive, that's the negative, straight to the unit. Super easy. You could literally have it wired up with no loom in the car, and that's pretty much all there is to it. It is idiot proof. There's plenty of tutorials, as I said, online how to do that, so jump on, check that out, and yeah, definitely consider it for an option for maybe your next build. The beauty is you have full power steering without the engine even running. So turn it on, ignition's on, She fires up. Sounds like the Jetsons. And we have full power steer. How good's that? So if you have a project, you haven't got a motor in it, or it's not running or whatever, you can push it around your workshop with full power steering. It's actually been really handy in the build. And yeah, I can't speak highly enough about it. It is amazing. You cannot hear that power steering pump. By the time the car's on and running, you don't hear it. So don't worry about that. And also, you can hide these things. There's probably a lot of hot rods out there or show cars that you would know they even have these. You can hide them under the guard. You can put them anywhere. So pretty versatile. Handy little tip for this week. So this is the rig. This was built before I was even doing videos. So sorry, there's nothing more on this car. But that pretty much does it for this week's episode of
Just the Tip.